Hi, I'm Claire. I support my partner in his business of Coy's Constructions. It's a small residential construction company. We have specialised in renovations. We work in mainly the Maroondah area of Melbourne, which is east. We have been in business for about maybe even 7. I can't quite remember now. And Tom became a registered builder about just shy of 2 years ago. So we're just building up the business, and now obviously we can do contracts and expand the work and do more meaningful work that Tom's been trying to do for years. I mainly respond to emails, do payments, follow up on quotes. Tom's not very good on computers at all, so anything that requires a electronic response or anything to do with computers, that's where I come in. After we joined APB, I reduced my hours at work, and I was working 4 days and reduced that down to 2 days, but kept I've got 2 littlies, so kept them both in childcare the extra 2 days, and I spent the 2 days that I had without them at home. They were my solid days of working, which helps a lot. And the days that they're home, I do it when I can. Sleep time, set them up with a movie occasionally, but I try to avoid doing that too often. But yeah, a lot of nighttime work as well at the moment. How I found APB, I was receiving some adverts through Facebook, and I'd been looking at them for quite a while. Just the taglines, I can't quite recall, but they always resonated with me. But at the time, I never clicked on a link. I hadn't looked any further into it, and it just timing worked out perfect. And I took this little one to sleep school. It was actually exactly 12 months ago, I think, to the day. Took him to sleep school, and suddenly I had 4 days of nothing to do, and I had been receiving the emails for a while as well, and suddenly I just started looking through it, and they really resonated with me. It was just an answer to a solution that we were struggling. We were up late every single night, and we weren't getting anywhere. We felt like the business was making no money. Felt like we were keeping our heads above water. And I watched one of the videos. I don't know if it was through Facebook or the email. And I called Tom and said, I've booked us in for a meeting with this. This sounds fantastic. It was a small fee, I think maybe $100. And I thought, I've got nothing to lose but $100. And yeah, that's how we started. Tom and I decided to become mentoring clients of APB because we need accountability. We definitely need accountability, and we like being able to ask questions. So often Tom and I have got a million questions, and it's nice to be able to bounce ideas off someone and just sort of get reassurance that we're doing the right thing and following the right procedures and implementing in the right way. For us, receiving guidance and advice as to when to implement things, obviously people come in to APB at different points in their business. For us, we were pretty fresh, with Tom only just being registered, so it felt like we were starting the business from scratch. And you know, for us, starting from the beginning, we're going to have very different things to implement from the start than someone who's been in business for 10, 20 years. So being able to, it was quite overwhelming at the start, and seeing all the different courses that were available and just going, oh my gosh, I want to do them all, but I don't have time. And just having the coach there to take a step back and say, no, you don't need to do that part yet, because we need to implement, say, the marketing first. It was just that there was so much there, and I wanted to be able to do it all. Obviously, you can't do it all at the same time. And I think that's the benefit of the coach, is that you know that you don't have to. You've got someone there that'll say, all right, you're ready to do this step. Leave those other bits for now. and they can point you in the right direction of which ones you need to be doing. The three biggest things for us that we've taken away in our last 12 months is, first and foremost, Tom's confidence as a builder. Tom has always been a great builder. He does very good quality work, but he hadn't been able to give that message to clients. So he was always a little bit more expensive than the guy next door. But when he handed over his quotes, they had nothing to go off. So Tom's now able to explain why his quotes can be more expensive, and often he'll say that off the cuff, that I'm definitely not going to be your cheapest, but I will give you a quality job. And that is a huge shift in Tom, just him having the confidence, and I guess the right terminology to use as well, has just been incredible for him, and he's so much prouder of his business and his work in the last 12 months than he ever has been before. So that's the first thing. I guess the second thing for us as well is actually making money. We realized that before joining APB, we were barely even covering our expenses. We were always chasing our tail with payments. We would do materials and labour plus 20%, and now we realise that 20% was just the business's costs. So we actually weren't making any money. And now we've got a proper formula that APB has taught us, the pricing for profit, and we're making money for the first time, which is just awesome. And getting up and going to work every day, especially for Tom, because he was exhausted like you couldn't believe, just feeling like he was working for nothing, and he was working for nothing. So him being able to get up and go to work knowing that he's going to bring home a profit has been incredibly valuable. The third thing for us is just having goals to work towards, and it's nice to know that they're achievable. At the start, 12 months ago, I thought, oh, wow, I could never believe some of the things that people were saying. Like I think our biggest contract that we'd signed was $40,000 before joining APB. And in the last 6 months, we've signed $500,000 worth of contracts. So it's building the business, and yeah, it's very exciting. I would definitely recommend APB to others. I always laugh because when we joined, I remember, Alex, I don't know if it was you or it may have been someone else who said that you've got builders who say they don't recommend APB to other people because they don't want other people to know. And we don't recommend it to our friends, but anyone else that's a little bit outside of that circle or not in the same area of us, we just rave and rave and rave about it. The time and the money that we pay for APB doesn't even come into it, because there's no way we could have ever achieved what we have without the help of someone like yourself. So, when we get the bills each month, it's not even a question as to whether or not we're going to continue, because, as I said just before, we've signed $500,000 worth of contracts in the last 6 months. The small amount that you pay, that's well and truly included within those contracts, and I couldn't have done it without it. It is a juggle. We're up late most nights because we're not quite at the stage yet that we can step away and do things during the day. We're doing our own renovation at home, which adds a whole lot of extra pressure, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I know that it'll pay off in the long run, and that's what we're working for at the moment. It's very clear to follow all the guidelines that are set out in the online portal, but also you've got the Facebook group as well, which I find often you'll ask questions in, and you'll have very experienced builders commenting and other people who are just starting out, and you get a really wide range of responses. And often if I don't post, I'll do a search beforehand in the group, and often that's quite useful as well, because not everyone's available to answer your questions then and there. And of course the news feed goes quickly, And sometimes your questions can get missed, but there's always the search function, and I find that really valuable because you get the responses of people who are no longer with APB, or people who for whatever reason are busy that day, and you get a very wide range of responses and very supportive. You can always ask questions. There's been many times that I've emailed and said, I'm not quite following this, and I've always had a very quick response. I'm really enjoying the marketing side of things. There's obviously lots of courses. I can't think of a specific one, but I enjoy doing the brochure and the website and sort of semi-designing things. I'm not very creative, but just looking at other builders' websites and being able to pull it all together, and particularly the brochure, just being able to hand that out. Clients are always very impressed at the level of detail that goes into it, and most of them have never seen a brochure like that before. So I think the marketing side of things, because I really enjoy, for me, the work that I like to do is I like to do something and see the end result and be able to admire it, admire my work. So whereas Tom just likes to see the profit. I think I've probably covered it already, but for us, like I said, we couldn't have gotten where we are today without your help, and we're just so grateful. I don't think a week goes by that we don't go, oh, thank goodness we found APB. And it's amazing how things fall into place. Like, if I hadn't have gone to sleep school that week with this one, I probably wouldn't have looked at it for a while longer, and who knows? I know that there's lots of statistics out there, and Alex, you often say that most businesses fold within 5 years, and who knows, that could have been us if we kept going the way we were before we joined and we had our initial consultation, I guess you'd call it, and we had been asked how much money we had in the bank. We had $700 in the bank, and that was all. So to now know that we've signed that value of contract and getting a nice healthy profit out of it, it's invaluable. So thank you. I remember you said even if it's 2 hours a week, if you can put aside 2 hours, you'll go far in it. And it's been true. Some weeks we might do nothing, and then the next week I might do a few hours worth, and every hour that's put in, it comes out.